everyone. I am Mitesh Lohar. I welcome you all on behalf of Polymedicure. I am regional clinical manager for Polymedicure Gujarat. Uh, Basically, I would like to introduce a very well-known personality from Gujarat. I mean Ahmedabad. She is Suniti Padiyar. She is currently working as a manager, quality head at Sterling Corporate Hospital. Sterling is the chain of corporate hospital in Gujarat, where she is leading quality as a head of the department. Right, she has done her BSc nursing and then MBA in healthcare management. She is having 24 years of rich experience, where she has done bedside nursing for almost 14 years. Then she moved to quality and worked for 10 years. So I would not take too much time to introduce a great personality, and I would like to hand over the session to Ms. Suniti Padiyar. Before going to the presentation, I would like to tell audience, if you have any questions in between session, you can just write in question answer session given in below the tagline. So thank you very much for having this session. I will welcome you on board, and over to you, Ms. Suniti.
Am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Polymed, for having me here. And special thanks to Mr. Mitesh for that wonderful introduction. I guess I don't have to introduce myself again because he has done that part already. Thank you, Dr. Arijit and Mitesh again for having me here. We will directly start with the topic for today, that is importance of quality and accreditation in nursing. So what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word quality in your hospitals? Many of us have that concept in our mind that quality means something, it is something about fault finding. So is it fault finding? Is quality means fault finding? No, it is not fault finding. So then what is quality? There are many definitions given for quality by different people, different institutions. One definition says that quality is reaching the target without any deviation. Another definition says that quality is doing right things when no one is observing you. So there are different definitions given by different people and different institutions. As we are talking about the nursing quality here, we will focus on the quality of nursing care only. So what is nursing quality? I would say that nursing quality is patient satisfaction. Knowing your patient's requirements, knowing your patient's demands, knowing your patient's needs. If you are giving quality care, I mean nursing care to the patients, and if then your patient is satisfied with your care, then you can say that you are providing quality nursing care. So ultimately, if you have a nurse who is competent enough and who is able to provide nursing care to meet various patient needs by identifying them properly and giving personal care supported by professionalism, which is delivered with an appropriate attitude, you can say that you are providing quality nursing care. So the care provided, the nursing care provided should be safe, effective, timely, efficient, and patient-centered. Now I'll just try to elaborate these points. Safe nursing care means by providing a safe environment to the patient so that you can minimize the risk and harm to the patient and avoiding preventable injuries and reducing medical errors, etc. That is, ultimately you are providing nursing care in a safe environment to the patients. Now, effective nursing care means providing nursing care based on the scientific knowledge and evidence-based guidelines. Now, timely nursing care means providing nursing care in time by reducing delays. It also includes proactiveness also. Now, efficient nursing care means nursing care in a manner that maximizes the resources and avoiding waste. That means you are using your resources, maximum use of the resources which is available with you, and avoiding waste. Now, patient-centered nursing care means by giving importance to the patients and not to the task which is to be completed. Because patients are not just numbers, they are human beings which they have to be heard, they have to be listened, and they have to be taken care of. So your nursing care should be always patient-centered. But why quality is important in nursing? Is it important in nursing? You can comment in the chat box there. So why is it important in nursing? Because as you all know, nurses are the key care providers to the patient, and they can significantly influence the patient outcomes and patient satisfaction. And whenever a management or a hospital, whenever they do a quality improvement project or anything new in their hospitals, nurses are the first category of people who are there to implement such activities. And nurses are there with the patients 24 by 7, and nurses are the first contact point of the patient. And if the patient is satisfied by the nursing care you are providing, you can say that 80% of your patient satisfaction is covered. It is like 80-20 Pareto principles. 80% of the patient satisfaction can be covered by good quality nursing care. The rest 20% you may not be able to help, but at least we should focus on those 80% of the care. Now, can we measure quality? Is it possible to measure quality, or can you quantify quality of the care which we are providing? So to measure something you always need tools, right? To measure something you always need tools. So what is the tool here to measure quality of nursing care? It is standards. Now we'll see what is standards. Standards means it is a documented way of doing something, and it is made up of objectives which is measurable. Now, for example, standards means it is a general guidelines of doing something, and objective means it is the step-by-step points of doing something, manner of doing something. That is objectives. Now these objectives are measurable. Now we'll see what is accreditation and certification. Accreditation means an acknowledgement of doing something or achievement of something, or officially recognizing some particular activity is called as accreditation or certification. Now I'll just try to relate this with some examples. For example, imagine that you are doing your nursing course. I know we all have done that. But imagine that we have completed our 4 years of nursing course. At the end of your nursing course, at the end of the 4 years of course, you are not appearing for the examination. But you are sure that you know everything about nursing and you are knowledgeable about nursing. But with that knowledge, will any hospital recruit you as a nurse? No, because your knowledge is not measured here. You haven't appeared for the examination. Now, to measure your knowledge, you need to appear for the examination, and based on the marks you are obtaining, maybe 50% or maybe 60% or 100%, whatever it is, based on that, you will be certified or qualified as a nurse. And with this certification, you can work as a nurse in any hospitals. So it is like, standards mean it is the syllabus that you're studying. Now, accreditation means it is the exam that you're appearing. So we will keep all these standards, accreditation, certification, quality, and everything aside. And we will just see what are the basic nursing skills every nurse must be having. Some basic nursing skills which every nurse must be having. We will come back to the accreditation and standards, everything after discussing this. Okay, the first and foremost nursing skill a nurse must be having is care and compassionate nature. Every nurse must be caring in her nature. A caring nature of the nurse makes all difference to the patients. It will directly affect the patient satisfaction as well as the profession of a nurse will flourish. Like if you ask any of your younger generation nurse why they have selected nursing as a profession, they will say that they want to obtain they want to attain a government job, or for job satisfaction, or for job security, or they need to want to go abroad. So there are 100 reasons for selecting nursing as a profession. But I'll say until and unless a nurse don't have caring and compassion as a basic nursing skill, she will not be able to flourish in her nursing profession. That will just be a money making process. So being empathetic to your patients, being empathetic to your patients' feelings, that is caring and compassionate nature. Many of us nurses, actually this caring and compassion nature is an inbuilt skill of nurses. Many of our nurses have that skill inbuilt, but many of our younger generation lack these skills, and being the leaders or being the seniors of senior nurses out there, you need to instill such nursing skills in our younger generation nurses. Now the second skill, but I'll say that this is the most important skill a nurse must be having: communication skill. Everyone communicates. Now what I am doing is, it's a way of communication. I'm trying to tell something to you, that is a communication. So there are different ways of communicating. There may be verbal communication, there is non-verbal communication, people communicate through sign languages. So there are different ways of communicating things, but your communication should always be effective. So when can we say that you are communicating effectively? When the other person understands what you're saying, and you're ensuring that the other person understood what you're trying to convey. That is effective communication. Now, for example, at the end of this session, if you are saying that you didn't understand anything what I said, then that is not an effective communication. If you are saying that you understood whatever I'm trying to convey to you, then I can say that I have effectively communicated to you. Okay. Now, the communication should be effective between the nurse and nurse, from one shift to another shift, that is from morning to evening, evening to night, while you are taking handover, while you are taking over of a patient, while you are handing over from nurse to clinician, nurse to on duty doctor, from one department to another. Then only we can ensure that our patient's continuity of care is, then only we can ensure that continuity of nursing care is taken care of. Now, to be an effective communicator, you always need to be a good listener too. Now, for example, if you are explaining some medications to your patients, if you are explaining that tablet Pandorac is to be taken BD, or tablet paracetamol has to be taken TDS, or tablet Alprax is to be taken HS, now you will feel that you have communicated it very well. But do your patient know that what is TDS or what is BD or what is HS? No. That means you have not effectively communicated it to your patients. Now you should understand what language the patient understand, and accordingly you need to explain it to your patient, and at the end of that you need to ensure that whether he has understood or not. Then we can say that we have effectively communicated it. So this is the most important skill every nurse must be having. Now we'll see the third basic skill, professionalism. When you hear the word professionalism, we always think that it is just about external appearance, or professionalism. Your ethical acts, the way you provide nursing care to your patients, the way you the way you talk to your patient, the way you walk, the way you behave with your colleagues, everything is included in the professionalism. Okay. Now we'll see the fourth nursing skill which every nursing staff must be having: attention to minute details. Every nurse should be having this skill. They need to have attention to every minute details of the patient, including clinical details and non-clinical details. In short, they need to be good observation power in every nurses. They need to understand patient's feeling. Even though the patient is not talking with you, you need to understand patient's facial expression. You need to understand patient's body language, so that you can anticipate what patient is asking from you. So this is another important skill every nurse must be having. Now, other skill every nurse must be having is critical thinking. A critical thinker can observe things. She will be a keen observer. She'll be having a good observation power. She will analyze things. She will interpret things. She will be having a problem solving skills. She'll be having decision making skills, including clinical and non clinical skills. So, a critical thinker nurse will anticipate what potential problems patient can face, and she will act accordingly, and she'll make decisions also. An example of a critical thinker nurse: suppose if you are informing a high blood pressure to your clinician. Now, a critical thinker nurse will gather all the details with her, then only she'll start her call, because she anticipates what are the questions the clinician may ask. Like the clinician may ask what is the pattern of blood pressure of the previous day, what all are the tablets which patient is taking, what was his last BP. So everything she will be ready with. A non-critical nurse will run for each and every information. Okay, so that is the difference between a critical and non-critical thinking nurse. Every nurse must be critical thinking. The sixth one, the basic skills, time management. I don't have to say much about this. You all will be knowing this. You should learn how to set the priorities. You need to prioritize your patients. If you are assigned with 5 patients, you need to prioritize your patient, which patient has to be taken care of first. So accordingly, you need to prioritize. You need to practice cluster care. Cluster care means you need to uh, gather, you need to be organized. When you are going to a patient's room, you need to complete as much as possible work together, and then you come back. Otherwise, every now and then going to the patient's room for each and every task, it will be a difficult task. So you need to practice cluster care. You need to stay organized. You need to be a multitasker. I am pretty sure that every nurse is slowly and gradually they will develop a skill of being a multitasker. But this is another nursing skill every nurse must be having. The next one is clinical knowledge and willingness to learn. Every nurse must be clinically updated. She should at least know about her patient's clinical needs, the diagnosis of the patient she is looking after, the medicines the patient is getting, the potential drug reactions the drugs can cause. Every basic things at least every nurse must be knowing, and she should be willing to learn. She should not be waiting for her seniors or anyone else or your training department to come and teach you. You should be willingly come and ask questions to your seniors or your clinicians. So that willingness should be there in every nurse. So these are the basic skills which every nurse must be having. The basic, very basic things. Now we will come back to the accreditation and standards. Okay, before going back to the accreditation and standards, we will see the basic needs or basic demands of the patients when a patient is getting admitted to your hospital. Every patient has the basic needs. Even if we go as a patient in any hospital, we also will demand, or we also will anticipate few basic things from the hospital or hospital staff, like effective diagnosis, treatment and medication, fast and reliable health advice, continuity of care after discharge. Every patient will they want to be involved in their medical decisions. They want to be respected. They want all information to be effectively communicated to them. They want empathy and emotional support. So these are the basic things every patient demands from a hospital or hospital staff or nursing staff. Now we will again come back to the standards and accreditation. Now what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to relate the basic nursing skills of a nurse to the standards. Standards, as I already said, standards are general guidelines. Here we are talking about the NABH standards or nursing excellence standards, like JCI standards. I have jotted down few standards which is selected from NABH as well as from nursing excellence. Just as an example, I just want to relate these standards with the basic nursing skills a nurse must be having and the basic demands or basic expectation of a patient. Because whenever you go for an accreditation or a certification like NABH or JCI or nursing excellence, what we think is that it is an additional work, or we an NABH or nursing excellence. That is what we have the idea. I just want to clear that myth from you. Now we'll see. Now we'll see the first point, that is from NABH chapter 1, that is AAC, Access, Assessment and Continuity of Care, that is fourth standard C objective. It says that initial assessment should be performed within a time frame based on the needs of the patient. Here what they're saying is initial assessment of every patient has to be done within a time frame which is decided by the organization, and it should be based on the needs of the patient. Needs means clinical needs of the patient. Now try to relate it with the basic nursing skills which we have discussed already. Now if a nurse have the basic skill of time management and critical thinking, you can easily cover this point. She'll understand that what is the need of the patient. If the patient is unstable, she need to immediately assess the patient, or if the patient is stable, she can complete that assessment within 1 hour or within 30 minutes according your hospital policy. So she will understand this point. Now see the second point, COP2F. COP is the second chapter of NABH, that is care of patients. Standard 2 F objective element says that patients waiting in the emergency room are reassessed as appropriate for change in their clinical status. Again, if a nurse who is having clinical knowledge and critical thinking, she can easily understand what are the changes of the patients in clinical status when she reassesses the patients in emergency department. Now see the third point. This is a point from management. Seventh standard A objective element says that there is an established process in place to identify and manage problems related to incompetent, unsafe, or unprofessional conduct. There, they are clearly saying that you need to monitor the nurses for unprofessional conduct. Now, again, if a nurse have a basic skill of professionalism, she can easily implement or cover this standard. Now, the fourth point is initial assessment includes assessment of actual and potential needs and problems. Now, again, a nurse who is having clinical knowledge and skills and critical thinking, she can, whenever she assesses the patient, she'll understand what is the and potential needs, because we already discussed that a critical thinker nurse can anticipate the potential problem a patient can face and she'll act accordingly. So if a patient is having, if a nurse is having this critical thinking nursing skill, she can easily implement this point. Now the next point is NCP3D, that is nursing care of patient. That is again from a nursing excellence standards. D objective element says that nursing care plan is modified when emergency situations arise. Again, if a nurse is clinically knowledgeable, she can implement this point. Now, next point says that information is exchanged and documented during each staffing shift, between shifts, and during transfers. Again, if a nurse is having good communication skills, effective communication skills, she will implement this point. Now, the next point is NCP 8B. The nurse shall select the appropriate type of catheter to meet the patient's vascular access needs. Again, if a nurse having good clinical knowledge will understand which type of catheter has to be selected for a patient. Again, the second last point says that NCP 9E says that nursing professionals seek additional knowledge and assistance as needed in a timely manner. Again, the basic skill of willingness to learn, if a nurse is having, she will definitely ask for the additional knowledge from the organization. The last point says that nursing professionals shall provide care to meet the unique end-of-life care needs of the patient and a nurse who is caring and compassionate in nature can easily understand this standard and she will implement it. These are few points which I have jotted down from NABH and nursing excellence standards. What I was trying to do is I wanted to just correlate these nursing standards, these quality standards with the basic nursing skills every nurse must be having, because each and every standards of NABH, nursing excellence and JCA, all these standards are prepared based on the needs of a patient. It is all the standards are doable standards, but whenever a hospital go for an accreditation program or a certification program, what people think are we are overburdened, or we have to put extra effort to obtain NABH. That is what the idea we have, but it is not so. If you are having the basic nursing skills, as we already discussed previously, all these standards will be, you can implement it as a part and parcel of your daily work. Now, to attain quality in the nursing, there are many challenges involved. You all will agree with me. The main challenges which we all are facing are incompetent or inadequate nurses. If you have adequate nurses, they may be incompetent, or if you have competent nurses, there may be shortage of nurses. The second most important thing is there are nowadays patients are very demanding. Meeting patients' expectations are highly, very challengeable job. There are more administrative tasks than patient-centric work, and ineffective nursing training or inefficient traditional nursing education. I'm not talking about the nursing training which you are providing in your hospital. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the nursing education nowadays our colleges or nursing schools are providing. I'm sure that you all will agree with me. Nursing education nowadays is not as the traditional way which it used to be happen in the older days. Many of the nursing colleges and nursing schools still don't have a practical platform. So there are many challenges, but as a nurse or being the leader of your hospital, or as a younger generation also, you need to overcome all the challenges, because you cannot give any excuse while you are taking care of your patient. You need to provide quality nursing care. So you won't be able to give any excuse. So we need to overcome the challenges by instilling the basic nursing skills which we already discussed to our younger generation. Okay. So what I was trying to explain was obtaining an accreditation is not a difficult task. To measure your quality, you always have to undergo an accreditation process. Then only you can qualify, you can say that you are providing good quality services. Now I'll just conclude my session with just reading out this famous quotes of Florence Nightingale. She once said that she never gave or took any excuse. I attribute my success to this, that I never gave or took any excuse. Another quote, she said, how very little can be done under the spirit of fear. If you are providing a fearful environment for the young nurses, it will be very difficult for them to work. So we, the senior nurses out there, you need to instill basic nursing skills to our younger generation, and you need to provide a good working environment to your young nurses out there. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, or if you differ from whatever I said, or you disagree any point, you can comment in the chat box down there. Thank you so much. Mitesh, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am, for giving a wonderful session. Uh, I just remember your last sentence. Obtaining the standard or accreditation is not too much difficult nowadays, but the sustaining that standard in your hospital, that is most important part of getting implementing the different JCI or NABH. So, guys, if you have any question, you can just type in a question answer session so we can take it to the panelist. And as we are getting uh, comments from chat box that the session was very nice and well presented. The way you have taken us through NABH and JCI guideline was quite amazing. I have some, it is not kind of question, but I just want to say you have taken us through communication, critical thinking in nurses, very important part of, the nursing, right? Communication in nursing, it is the most important part, right? If any nurse or any department or any hospital is implementing proper communication in between their nurses or nursing team, that will definitely prevent major incidences in your hospital or in your department. That will definitely happening in throughout the world. So implementing the proper communication, channel of communication, is part of your journey in your hospital, or proper quality care, that will again raise quality concern in your hospital. uh, Rest, I'm not getting any questions from audience. If you still have any question, you can write in chat box. I mean chat box or question answer session, so we can take it to the panelist. We have no question yet. Another, I mean. So see, as of now, we don't have any question. So I just want to ask you one thing. Multitasking. You have mentioned word multitasking. Nurse should be there, right? So what is your observation, if any nurse or any I mean the kind of infection control nurse, quality nurse, who has given different task at one time, will his or her the given task will differ? I mean the quality of that particular task, what he or she has been assigned for throughout the her or his journey, will it be? So this is just kind of question I have. You can just focus on this if it is possible.
Yeah, Mitesh. What multitasking I actually meant was, the patients nowadays coming, they are highly demanding. You all will be agreeing with me, because they all demands a restaurant type of, hospital stay nowadays. So there are many like taking food order from the patients. That is a multitasking. It is completely out from the nursing profession actually, but still our nurses do that. So there are many administrative and non-clinical work our nurses are doing nowadays. But as you rightly asked, if a nurse is given additional responsibility as an infection control nurse or as a quality nurse, that again depends upon the nurse who is accepting that responsibility. If that nurse is having that willingness to learn, willingness to take exposure, so they can definitely do that multitasking, because they are getting exposure to different departments and different works. So that if that willingness to learn is there, you can definitely do that multitasking work also, Mitesh.
Okay, thank you for attending the question. So we have two questions from audience side. Lijo PJ is asking, is access documentation affect quality of patient care? Just highlight this.
Definitely.
So give your suggestion how, I mean, is this really affecting the quality of patient care, end of the day?
Is he asking about the documentation?
Yes, is access documentation affect quality of patient care?
Documentation, see, first of all, you need to understand what you have to document and what is the importance of documentation. While you are documenting that, you may not be understanding the importance of that. You will always think that it is extra documentation, but after some time, if a case or if a patient go if a case convert it as a medical legal case, or if a patient claim on the hospital, this documentation always work as a medical legal document, and it can save you. That is the reason we are documenting everything. And in quality, there is a saying that if you are not documenting, that means you have not done that work. Okay, you are simply doing some task, and if you're not documenting it, it means that you have not done that work. Okay, it's simply a saying that if it is not done, if it is not documented, it is not done.
Absolutely. In
Mitesh.
initial our nursing day, it has been said that report and record. So you have to record everything what you have done. That is
Exactly.
kind of documentation. Absolutely right. So one another question from an anonymous attendees. She said she is just proud on you that that ma'am, proud of you being a nurse come up with to that position. These days, nurses are not empowered to take decision that concern many of us. How to let this happen? So she is asking. I mean, this attendee is asking about the the
Nursing
empowerment of
empowerment.
absolutely.
Okay, can I know from where she is?
It is not written in the comment
Okay.
box. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, I will say that nurses in our state like Gujarat, there is a problem about nursing empowerment, because many of our hospitals are still consultant driven hospital. But in Delhi, Mumbai and all, we can say that nurses are highly empowered. If we have any nurses from Mumbai side, they'll understand what I'm trying to say. But empowerment, you don't wait for empowerment. You need to create space to get empowered. You show your skills to your management and to your seniors, they will definitely give you empowerment. So you don't wait for them to come and offer empowerment that you can do this. Don't wait for that. You show your skills, definitely your seniors will recognize you and they will empower you. That's what I want to say, Mitesh.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for attending the questions. And I cannot see any question in Q&A box and chat box. So thank you all for giving such, thank you, Ms. Sunidhi ma'am, for giving wonderful session on quality, because quality is always important part of, nursing. Uh, Thank you all attendees for giving your time to attend this session by Ms. Sunidhi Padiyar. Uh, I would say, uh, I have no word to say, express my gratitude to you, as Sunidhi has just taken my request and to be a part of this panel discussion. I mean, for this webinar as a speaker. Uh, Thank you again. And if we do not have any further question, we can close the session. I mean, and there are so many comment is coming in chat box, so it is just praising your presentation. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Polymed,
Thank you,
once
Adit.
again. Thank you, Mitesh. Thank you, Dr. Arijit.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.